Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Nils and I am a recently graduated mechanical engineer, and I've also played drums for 20 years, studied music and played professionally. And now I want to make a YouTube channel because I have some projects I want to share with you. And next to me here you might see a little tease for some of my musical equipment. So we are gonna create engineering and music, but much more. And the first project is gonna be to build the ultimate Tony Stark virtual mixed augmented reality engineering and music production setup. So we need some stuff to do that, and some of the things that I have acquired is these here. So these here, these are Xreal 1 Pro augmented reality glasses, and these will allow me to create virtual screens with more. So right now I have a virtual screen that popped up in my face. I need to move that over here. So, and more than these glasses, I also have acquired this here that can come into frame like this. This is the device that I use to present on here in my slideshow, where I can go back and forth swiping. And this is a 65-inch touchscreen. And I purchased this device to help my girlfriend present her digital art that nobody has ever seen. Let me put down the glasses here real quick. But more than that, besides being able to present her art in a gallery or at a convention, I can also use it for 3D programming, 3D printing, vibe coding. So that's one step closer to the Tony Stark setup. So what else do we need? Well, before we get into all that, I want to give you a little presentation of myself to let you know who I am. So I'll just remove the glasses here real quick. All right, so I studied music from 2017 until 2020 at the Royal Conservatory of Music in Denmark. But then, after 3 years of studying, I realized that because of a certain situation at the time, I wanted a more secure education and future than being a musician, since my whole field of income got shut down from one day to another. So back to school, learn some basic math, go to the university, have some fun projects, robot gripper, always fun to build robot stuff, am I right? And then, of course, the advanced math here. Yeah, that was difficult, but we got through it so we could get to the fun parts of building more robots in my internship, an autonomous lawnmower for golf courses and football fields. I had a great time doing that. And then recently I graduated. So what's the next step? Well, we want to build a Tony Stark ultimate mixed reality, virtual reality setup. So we already have the 65-inch touchscreen that I'm presenting on here. Amazing. It has a great camera, it has great microphones, and it can do all kinds of cool stuff. Besides that, we also acquired the Xreal 1 Pro. These are also awesome. They can do 2D to 3D conversion, mixed reality recording. I'm still trying to figure out how to stream mixed reality, but we'll figure something out so you guys can see the virtual screens that I actually have around me. But besides that, we can also use it to do the point of view footage. It's not the greatest camera, but it does work. And it does work because we have the Beam Pro here, the spatial computer that can power and broadcast this stream to my other computer. But more than that, I plan to get a hold of these things here, which are Aerodrums too. And these are virtual drums, motion tracking camera that will track the tip of your drumstick. And I saw a video of Llarnell. We'll watch it in 2 seconds playing that. And when I saw his face, I knew I had to get those. But besides the virtual drums, I'm also looking into getting the Mudra band, where you can control computers, phones, spatial computers with your electronic pulses from your wrist. Very exciting stuff. And probably also hand tracking, roll the airwave keyboard will be on the menu to complete this mixed reality Tony Stark engineering and music setup. So what's the next is to watch this video of Llarnell. So we'll just watch a little bit, but his face. I mean, at first he looks pretty intrigued and interested trying it out, and then it starts to become pure joy. But let me forward it a little bit here. So right around here, you can see he begins to have so much fun playing this instrument. So when I saw this, when I saw his face, I was like, I need to have this device, because if a man like Llarnell can have such a good time playing it, it can only be fun. So we're gonna get those for sure. Okay, we'll get his face at the end here. Oh. Here at the end, I love the way he looks, and he's a great, amazing player, one of the greatest ever. Look at him! Wow! He had a great time, and that's why we need those. So, what else? Well, we're gonna do software. We're gonna do a bunch of software as well on this channel here, because I want to build. I have the screen here, and like I said, I use that to present my girlfriend's art. Oh, around here, and nobody has actually seen her digital artwork except on Instagram. So I got the great idea to purchase the screen, and then build an app or a website for now to present her art, so that people can scroll through her digital works and order prints, and actually also custom 3D printed artwork that people can remix. And I'll show you that in 2 seconds. Other than that, we also have a 3D printer here that we use for art. And I have a plan to create some kind of 3D print optimization algorithm to make it easier for everyday people to create stronger 3D printed parts with a few clicks. And a really exciting project, I think, is this virtual venue that I want to create, where I can perform and I can invite my friends to play with me live, and you guys can join in a virtual environment where you can walk around, maybe even get on stage and look behind the drums, etc. So, I mean, I had so much fun learning to code with vibe coding recently, so I'm not a great programmer, but I do love to build stuff. And I'll show you a demo in 2 seconds here of this actual software that I built for my girlfriend. But first, I want to show you more of my musical hardware. Actually, I skipped a slide. So I have a bunch of musical equipment that we need to utilize for our virtual studio here. And I'll just put on the glasses real quick because I want to talk a little bit about it. I'll actually swap the microphone. So here I'm at my desk because I wanted to show you a little bit more of my equipment that I have here. So first of all, the monitors. I can't really get it in frame, but these monitors, they're absolutely amazing, because these are a set of Dynaudio Air25 mastering grade monitors. So these are the real deal. I got them on auction not too long ago, and these will pull 2 10-inch drivers, 1 5-inch driver, and a tweeter on top. Both of these have 4 amps inside of them that can deliver a lot of watts, sorry. Each of them can pull 1200 watts, so in total we have 2400 watts of sound performance power, if you will. The thing is that if you turn up the speakers to that level, they can play 135 decibels. So you will destroy your hearing completely, because that is basically the equivalent of an airplane, jet plane right next to you. So what else do we have here? We have the push. Now let me try to look down. All right, something like that, right? Jamming, jamming, jamming. I love that shit. Excuse my language. So, I have something else. Aha! Let me see if I can get this into the frame. Of course, my
green screen is trying to remove it. Okay, whatever. Oh, not my green screen, my software. So what is this? This is a digital microphone preamp. So we have all this stuff here, and we have the point of view. I'm going to switch back here because I want to show you something on the screen. I wanted to go back here on the Yealink here to tell you a little bit about how we're going to build out the studio. And I'm new to learning all this, switching cameras, microphones, back and forth, so you'll have me excused. But we have the Push 3, Ableton Push 3, with the MPE MIDI controls. That thing is an amazing machine, and I can't wait to learn how to use it more. Besides that, we have the preamps that I showed you. So these are TC Electronic Gold Channel, and I have 2 of those, so that'll give us 4 channels with 96 kilohertz. The monitors, though, they will go to 192 kilohertz full digital because I have 2 master monitors. So it's actually a really potent setup. What else do we need? Well, we have more of these input channels. We have some analog preamps that we need for these that can then act as digital inputs. So we have 4 channels here. These can only go to 48 kilohertz, but 48. But at the end of the day, that should be quite sufficient for broadcasting for now. Okay, so one thing that I do need to acquire is this, and this has a wonderful name because our speakers here, they speak, or they use the AES EBU protocol to communicate sound back and forth digitally. And in order for us to do that, we need this sound card here, and it's called an RME HDSP AES /EBU, not forward slash, /EBU sound card. Very nice name, but very powerful device because it will give us a bunch of digital channels. So if we put our audio from the Push in here, we probably want it to in our headphones, and then we want it over here. So that's kind of the routing we're going for. We also need these inputs in here, of course, these puppies here. So one last piece of equipment that I didn't show you over here at the desk is a very, very special piece of equipment that I have. And that is what's called an Orban Optimod 8585 surround processor. And this is a very, very special device. And this specific device actually was used to broadcast X Factor 2013 and 2016 here in Denmark, a Danish talent show. So that means I still have the presets on the machine, and this machine cost over 15,000 euro from new. And these presets are really excellent because they're made by the sound engineers at the Danish TV station. And what is this machine? Well, it's a fully digital 8-channel dynamic multiband compressor and mastering limiter and loudness controller. That's a lot. That's why it was so expensive. It has 8 DSPs inside it. But essentially, any sound that we put through this will get magically converted into broadcast quality, so to speak. It will look ahead, and it has a look ahead feature of 30 milliseconds, minimum latency 6 milliseconds, so a little bit too much to live monitor. But this should give an amazing, really well polished, produced, and excellent sound straight out of the box. But if we do want to listen to multiband compression in real time, for example, when we're playing the drums, which I like, we have these dB Max down here that can do something similar. These will only add 0.5 ms latency. So these things are very, very powerful. But the idea here, the scope of everything, is to finish building out our Tony Stark setup, of course. We're almost there, we got a lot of stuff. Then we need to acquire the Aerodrums so I can start streaming some music and perform to have fun. Then we need to buy this so we can do the digital virtual reality perform venue. That's gonna be exciting. By that time, I expect we'll be in the future somewhat, and we try to build an acoustic studio at that point because we have all the stuff to do it. Then I want to expand 3D printing business with my girlfriend, and I want to do the 3D print optimization algorithm. At that point, I'll probably be like 40 years old. But the next step here is to tell you that I'm actually not planning to become a YouTuber because I want to work as an engineer, since it's a very interesting and
rewarding job that I would love to have extensive experience in. But I would like to document and share my journey, so everything I do on this channel will essentially be live, and the idea is to keep producing and keep doing fun projects. We have a lot of stuff I want to do. Like I told you, there's even more electronic repairs, live concerts, etc. All of these things will be condensed into videos at a later time, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time editing videos because I don't want to be a YouTuber. I want to document and share my journey as a mechanical engineer and a musician. And the final thing is that I want to demonstrate the app that I built for my girlfriend for presenting her art on this wonderful 65-inch display that I have here. And it looks something like this. So here we have something that is zoomed in a little bit. So the idea here is that it's actually something wrong with this. Oh, well, the idea is that people can scroll through her digital art and zoom in, if my thing was working, and basically order and remix custom artwork on this machine. Okay, so what you see here on this side, the right side of the screen, is the finished art piece that my girlfriend has created on her iPad. And on the left here you have a time lapse of the process, and we can zoom in if my fingers worked to look around, pan around the shot. And then we can, of course, scroll to the next image and start to see the time lapse of this. And we can control the playback speed down here. Very interesting. What if you want to order an A3 or an A4, for example, you do it right here. Just put plus, put it in your basket. But the real party feature here is, oh, you can't see the menu. There's a menu down here. So I click 3D print, and then I select one of her artworks here. This one is really nice. So what we can do in this interface here is remix her art. So we can select which parameters we want to have present or to remove, and then we can adjust it manually. The vibrance, for example, or the light. We can even switch some of the colors here if we want all the shadows to be red. So we can do all kinds of stuff, but one thing that I really like is just to click, there's a little remix button up here. Try to click that and see if something funny pops out here. I usually like to do that. For example, I like this here. So let's say I'm a customer, I want to order this, then you just click save. Boom, and then it populates as an image that I can then 3D print over here on my Bambu Lab A1. So that's kind of the scope of the, oh, and the thing is that we need to port this to a native Android app so I can run it on my TV here. But I would like to say thank you for now, and thanks for joining my channel. And if this sounds interesting or in any way useful to you, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and maybe even the notification bell to see when I go live, because everything is actually going to be live. So thank you. Goodbye. And oh, here I am again. Now it's really goodbye.